Why is your reader buying your book? Now, this is probably more towards someone who is doing low content books rather than someone who is doing fiction. I'm sure if somebody is buying fiction books, there probably is a good reason for that. It's probably escapism. They want to get away from life. They want to have a mental adventure in their head that's not going to cost them any money. It's not going to put their life in jeopardy, whatever it is, but they can let all that stuff play out in their head. So in the case of fiction, there's probably escapism is probably the major reason why they are buying that book. But for anybody who is doing low content books, and it's something that I help people out with from time to time, I show them how to do workbooks, colouring books and planners and all those different things. For those type of people, or those people who buy those books, you have to wonder, well, why are they buying that type of book? Now, if someone is maybe buying an adult colouring book, you can probably be sure that they aren't doing it because they are a big lover of colouring. Now, they may have been a big colour in the past, it probably reminds them of childhood memories of being alone, maybe just in peace and quiet, with a simple colouring book and a packet of markers or a packet of crayons, and it was relaxing, it was creative, and it could allow them to be creative, but they didn't actually have to come up with anything. All they had to basically do was colour it in. So in that case, for the low content people, if you are selling books, planners, workbooks, colouring books or whatever it is, think about why your customer is actually doing that. Now again, if you go back to that example, someone colouring as an adult, there's probably a good reason why they are doing that. Again, it could be the good feels that they're looking for, those childhood memories of many an hour spent happily colouring away in solitude, and it was relaxing. But at the moment, a lot of people are buying colouring books or adult colouring books more of a stress relief than anything else. Now, if you kind of think about, well, why is my buyer buying my book? If you kind of get into the psychological reason of why they're doing that, what you can do that, you can use that in your marketing, or what you can also do is you can get yourself in front of that audience with your book. Now, the easiest thing for you to do is to, create a colouring book or a planner or a workbook, put it on Amazon, and then have to fight with everybody else that's on there. But if you think about now, if somebody is buying a colouring book and they are buying adult colouring books, again, as I said, it's probably somebody who is maybe suffering from a little bit of stress, who is looking for some kind of way of relaxing. Rather than looking at the Amazon Kindle store to get in front of that customer, why not look outside it and look to forums where people are hanging out, where people are maybe suffering from stress, maybe some people are looking for a relaxation, are looking for ways to be a little bit creative that don't cost a lot of money and aren't a big risk to them. And what you can do is you can get your foot in the door in those places, and then as the conversation comes up, mention to them, oh, by the way, I do adult colouring books and they are really, really good for stress relief. Now, rather than you actually just jumping into every forum, every Facebook group and kind of standing on your little soapbox shouting colouring books over here, colouring books over here, because you do find that if you push a product on somebody, the last thing they'll do will buy it, they'll probably go the opposite way. So what you need to do is you need to attract that person to you. You need to attract those customers to you. So how can you do that if you're trying to sell colouring books? Well, as I said, if someone is buying a colouring book or maybe stress relief, there's no reason why you can't set up a 7-day, a 14-day, maybe a 30-day stress relief e-course. Now, what you can do is you can simply write a couple of emails, or if you aren't maybe the best of writers, you can hire maybe a ghostwriter, or you can go to one of the PLR websites and you can download a series of PLR articles that were written by a ghostwriter, and what you can do is you can simply put them into an autoresponder. So what you can do is when you do go to those Facebook groups or you do go to the forums or whatever, you can advertise your 14-day stress relief e-course. Now again, because it is free to for people to sign up, it's not going to cost them a penny, you will find people will say, well, I am suffering from stress, maybe this might be helpful to me. So they will go over to your website, put their details in, and over the next 7 days, 14 days, or however long you want this e-course to last for, you can give them some stress relieving tips. But what you can do is you could have a link maybe at the bottom of each email leading over to your Amazon author page where you are selling your colouring books. So you could have maybe a tip today, which could be how to be less stressed in the car. So this could be today's topic, and then at the end of it you could have a little kind of byline at the bottom of that today's lesson saying, oh, by the way, you know, it's one thing being stress relieved in the car, but do you get stressed out at home? Now, if you do get stressed out at home, here's a very, very simple way to, you know, get rid of that stress, and then simply have a link to your colouring book. Now, again, because you are showing up in front of that person over and over again, you're building a little bit of relationship with them, you are being trustworthy, you're giving them probably content that is useful to them, but you are getting a chance to show that link over and over again, and you will probably find that as you get more people signing up for your e-course, your stress relief e-course, people will probably start buying those books when you start seeing the benefit of it, or you kind of show them, well, this is another way that they can relieve their stress if they are stressed out on certain days. So think about why your reader is buying that book, or your customer. Is it for stress relief? Is it for escapism? Is it for, you know, to make themselves feel more positive or feel good about themselves, or whatever it is? So kind of get into the kind of psychology of why they are buying that book. It's not because they like spending money. There's a particular reason why they are buying that book. They want something back from it. So what is that thing they are looking back from that book? And then do something like create content for it. Again, you don't even have to do an e-course if that's not what you wanted to do, but what you could do is you could offer that maybe as a bonus with your free colouring book. So if you can imagine you were going through the Amazon Kindle store and you've seen a load of adult colouring books, but say for example you see in the description of one that not only were you getting a colouring book, but the author was giving you 30 days of stress relief tips and tricks, always giving you a bonus free report that was going to show you how you could be more stress free. Now, if you imagine that person who is probably a little bit stressed out is buying that book for that reason, if they see all the colouring books and there's only one of them in there that has a bonus report that is going to help them with stress relief, you can imagine you're going to stand out compared to everybody else, and there's probably a good chance that they are going to buy your book because they are going to get that additional bonus. Again, it doesn't have to be a book. It could be a simple video course. You could be speaking to camera like I am, simply just record a couple of series of videos, or you could set up a landing page with an e-course where when somebody buys that colouring book, they instantly have access to this free course that you have set up on your website. And again, as that person, that customer, signs up, gives you their email address, which is fantastic because you can market to them over and over again. But in those 7 days, those 14 days, or whatever, you can have a little byline at the end of each day showing someone your next colouring book, so you can actually make more sales back to those people in the future. And again, because you are collecting their email addresses after the e-course, you can email them every so often with the permission, and you can market your products and your books to them that way. So think about that. Why is somebody buying your book today? And see if there's some way you can come up with some kind of bonus content, e-courses, reports, video courses, or whatever that you can slot onto your low content book as a bonus, or you could have it on your website, drawing that traffic away from the book over to your website and getting people on your email list. And again, then to reaching out to Facebook groups, forums, or whatever it is that type of person is looking for relief or looking for an answer to the problem, and see if you can offer your services over there, and again work them over to your site, and then mention your books as a byline. So you're not forcing the books on somebody. They are eventually going to, warm up to you, and then there's probably a chance that they are going to try out your colouring books because they can see in their head how that book could be helpful to them, maybe relieving their stress or being more creative or positivity or whatever it is that your book does. So give that some thought today and see if you can put something into place where you can set up e-courses, reports, or something like that to not only help those people but to show them where your books are, and again to capture those email addresses so that you can market to those customers again and again in the future. So I hope this video has been really, really helpful, but again, put into action. Don't just forget this and don't put into action, because unfortunately a lot of people will watch these videos or listen to these podcast episodes and not take action, and it's totally wasting their time. So take some action on this, put some plan in today that you can use what I've just spoken about. So if you'd like to ask me a question, or you'd like me to cover something in an upcoming video, you can reach out to barryjmcdonald@gmail.com. Or if you'd like to know more where these videos are going up, if you do a Google search for WriteCome, that's WRITE, you'll find all the videos, you'll find all the posts, you'll find all the podcast episodes all over the web. So simply do a search for WriteCome and you'll find all that content. Now at the moment we have a great free report which is called Words to Wealth, and in it I'm going to show you 10 different ways you can make money from your keyboard, and one of those ways is with low content books. So if you aren't into low content books at the moment, give it a go, download the free report, let me know how you get on with it, and as always, thanks for sharing your time again today. Take care, have a great day, bye bye.